Hi, this is Buckley, and I'm going to talk to you about setting the right kinds of goals for measuring the value of SharePoint. Hi, this is Buckley again. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer with Beezy. I'm also a Office Servers and Services MVP. I'm talking about a topic that is, I think, relevant to any business, of course. At some point, we're all being asked to measure the value that we're providing through our SharePoint environments. So whether you are a site admin or even a power user just using the platform, at some point, someone in the chain, our management chain, is going to ask, like, what is the value that we're getting out of the system that we have in place here? Something that I certainly picked up while I was at Microsoft is this idea of building SMART goals. Well, beyond that, I'm not going to lecture on that. We'll let the article write itself below that. You've all heard about this, probably about SMART goals. But it's kind of the focusing on your goals on specific actions and activities that are measurable and focusing on the right things. Be careful that you're not just going in and saying, oh, we saw this KPI that we use in this last project or my former company, we're going to apply that here. It needs to be relevant to your business, to your team, and to your culture. One of the things that I always provide guidance to customers about is on this focus. Like, is it around the company? Is it around the customer specifically? Or is it around the employee that we're trying to provide this environment and this activity? Because the various outcomes, if we're looking at company-wide, these are the benefits, it's going to be very different and not tuned to the employee versus the employee. It might be great for the employee and great metrics, but not driving the value that somebody that is focused on the company wants to see. And so that's where you can see the division of some of these metrics, some of these goals based on where you are focusing. So it's important to start there. And you might have goals for all of these areas, but you need to start somewhere and then focus in from there. Now from there, you take this focus. So actually go in and think about like the focus. And in this case, we're going to focus on outcomes specifically for the customer in this case. So for the customer, we have specific outcomes that we're looking at. We're looking at maybe reducing the cost of acquisition, improving the quality of the service for the customer. I know this is hard to read, but the level of engagement and what the engagement activity actually looks like. And there's multiple layers within that. The actual content that's being created and given to customers, and the level of support that's being provided. So all of these things are areas, and yes, there's many more things within that customer category of things that you might potentially want to measure. But the point here is to understand the outcomes and then measure against those outcomes. Just pushing a metric out there, a KPI, is not the right approach. But for example, if my outcome is that I want to improve quality, and you might say that quality improved for our organization is that we have maybe in our customer satisfaction, our CSAT surveys, we have a 10% gain in our CSAT percentage, if your organization follows that kind of model. But you might have is that improving quality might be to a CSAT improvement. Well, if you know that the goal here is CSAT improvement, you just have to believe me that word says improvement there. But if that is your desired outcome, then going and building the measurements that are going to deliver that improvement and how you're going to achieve that and over what time period. So SMART metrics, which are guided principles to help you to make sure that the goals that you set are meaningful, they're timely, they're well measured, and they fit with your business initiative, so that business alignment that is so critical should be part of the focus. So if you understand how you're building your goals, the focus areas, you are clear on the outcomes and not blurring the lines between other desired outcomes so that you can build the right metrics, you're going to be on the right track to delivering the right measurements and measuring that over time. And value is one of those things that falls clearly in the SharePoint world into the it depends category. It really depends on what it is that your focus is, what it is that you're trying to measure as an outcome, and then looking at that measurement over time. one of the things which I'm constantly preaching about is that you should not try to measure the benefits of SharePoint as a statistic. Looking at a spreadsheet, it's not going to give you all of the qualitative or quantitative value measurements of your environment, but to look at these as data points in time, and you should focus more on how that data changes over time and whether things are trending positively or negatively. And I think you'll be much better off in your goal setting if you take that perspective with focus, outcomes, and perspective on how to set a good goal.